The Ange-Postecoglu era is well and truly underway at Tottenham, with Spurs playing some of their best football in years. However, a trophy still eludes them. 16 years of heartbreak since winning the Carling Cup still haunts them. However, that all changes today. Welcome then to the Ange-Postecoglu Tottenham rebuild. Let's get into it. This rebuild doesn't stop until we win a major trophy with Tottenham. Before we jump into the team, as in real life, we've said goodbye to Eric Dyer, Perisic, Sessegnon, Ndombele and Tanganga. But we do welcome in Lucas Bergvall from Sweden. What a signing he could be. And this is how the team is looking at the start of Season 1. Pretty strong all around the pitch. There is one position in particular that we're taking a look at, and that is up front. I like Richarlison, but if we're going to be a serious title contender, we need a serious player. We finally convinced the man to join Tottenham. And welcome to Tottenham, Dusan Vlahovic. 70 million on the dot. Bargain, really. We say goodbye to Brian Hill, who joins Crystal Palace. The lad just never fit in here. We also completed the signings of Aaron Kunda, Leon Miller, and Rav Vanderberg to keep the board happy. And as you can see here, we've got a number of young lads out on loan for this season to try and develop into first team players. That about wraps up our summer transfer business. Let's now jump ahead to January to check in and see where we're at. At the midway point of the season, we are currently sitting in 7th place in the league. It doesn't look pretty on paper, however we are only 2 points behind 3rd place West Ham. We had a strong Europa League campaign, finishing 2nd in our group, only just missing out on 1st from a strong Villarreal side. And with that, we've booked our spot in the preliminary knockout round against Shakhtar Donetsk. Minor crisis in midfield as Rodrigo Bentancur has picked up a long-term injury and Yves Bissouma has requested to leave the club, so we're going to have to look at some replacement options. In this window, we also let go of Manor Solomon for 15 million to Stuttgart. He just didn't really fit into the team here. And with those funds, we have wrapped up the signing of João Palhinha in midfield. The Portuguese CDM signed with 30 million plus Yves Bissouma. We also made the loan signing of Timo Werner permanent for 20 million. He'd been great cover on the left wing. And that's it for the end of the January transfer window. Let's now jump to the end of the season and see how things went in Ange Postecoglu's 2nd year in charge. And just like that, the season comes to a close. We actually managed to finish in 2nd place. We had a fantastic run in the second half of the season. Manchester City obviously ran away with the title, but we finished 2nd and confirmed Champions League football is back to Spurs. You're wondering where Arsenal were on the table. They actually finished 11th. Mikel Arteta is fully in the mud. And right after talking smack about Arsenal, it did actually eliminate us from the FA Cup. In the Carabao Cup, it was just the 4th round for us, going out to Liverpool. And in the Europa League, we got to the quarter-final, going out to Borussia Dortmund, the team that would eventually go on to win the whole competition. In terms of stats, the front line was firing on all cylinders, with Son getting 26 goals, Vlahovic getting 24 and Kulusevski getting 20. James Maddison also added 10 for himself. Vlahovic was also the 2nd top scorer in the league, just behind Mo Salah. And in terms of assists, it was Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison who provided the majority of the assists. Vicario also had a fantastic season, registering 17 clean sheets across all competition, as well as 2 assists somehow. Still no silverware to write home about for Tottenham, however a fantastic season to build upon. They're back in the Champions League and they're ready to go next year. And this is how the team is looking going into the new season. One obvious area of weakness potentially is this right centre mid spot. We also may need to consider a long-term replacement for Heung-min Son. He's now 32 and potentially could be on the decline. And to start the new window off, we had somewhat of a clear out. Sarr leaving at Napoli, he just didn't really fit into the system. Richarlison off to Man United for more game time. Emerson Royal to Nottingham Forest. Celso to Chelsea and Ben Davies to RC Celta. And he's been rumoured with a transfer in real life and we've completed it now. Nico Williams joining Tottenham for 17 million. Having a quick look at the loans for this season, plenty of young talent to develop out there. And joining his countryman in midfield, João Palhinha, after just 2 seasons in Saudi, it's Ruben Neves, signing for £60 million. And our final bit of business here, helping to fill out the British quarter in the team, is Jared Branthwaite. Only onto the bench for now for Branthwaite, but this is how the team is looking as we get ready for the new season. Nico Williams was signed as a long-term Son replacement, but he already has a starting berth over Kulusevski. Let's now jump ahead to January to see where this team is going. And this is how the table is looking at the midway point of the season. We are well and truly in a bit of a slump here, already losing grip on the top 3 by over 17 points. We are still close to 4th place Newcastle, but there's all to play for still. We did find ourselves in a very difficult group in the Champions League, only managing 3rd place. Hopefully, however, we can still be competitive in the Europa League, booking losing a match against Braga in the preliminary round. In terms of transfers, nothing much happened. We didn't have any funds really to reinvest into the squad. We did say goodbye to Dragusin, who went to Girona. Holzberg and Skip also both left on short-term loan deals as well. So no new signings as we head into the second half of the season. The only real weak spot potentially in the side is Van de Ven at centre-half, but we're going to give him 6 more months to see if he can develop and hopefully stick with him moving forward. And that's where the season ends. We finished in 5th. A really disappointing season. We really struggled with momentum throughout. Inconsistent results, and because of that we're going to miss out on Champions League football next year. In the FA Cup we managed to draw Manchester City in just our first round and we lost 3-2. Then it was more of the same in the Carabao Cup, also going out to Manchester City, this time on penalties. As we saw before, we did go out of the Champions League, and then in the Europa League we were knocked out on penalties by Roma. Looking now at the stats for the season, Vlahovic led the line with 30 goals in all competitions, Son got 24, Maddison got 10, Nico Williams had a poor return his first season, only managing 8 goals. And in terms of assists, Ruben Neves scored 10, Son also got 10, Williams with 9, Pliny with 6, and Pedro Porro with 5. And at the end of the season now, we are going to say goodbye to Sergio Reguilon, a player who's just never been able to break into our first team. Really disappointing season, all things considered. It's going to be a long summer from Ange Postecoglu to get the players back in the right frame of mind and push on for a good season. But let's go. Next season, let's do it. Listening back to the end of last season, I didn't realize how depressed I sound. One bad season is not the end of the road. You gotta trust the process. Let's dive into season 3. Looking at the first team now coming into season 3, there isn't too many obvious spots of weakness. I do think maybe we might need a new centre-back over Van de Ven. I do like him a lot, but 83 compared to the rest of the squad, it's just not cutting it right now. We could also do with some more squad depth throughout as well. And we have improved the team just like that. Nico Schlotterbeck joining from Dortmund for £80 million. Next up, we added some much needed firepower to our bench, signing Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa for £35 million. We also then signed Dean Henderson as a backup goalkeeper for Vicario. Next up, we said goodbye to Jed Spence for just over £10 million. Next up, we said goodbye to Pierre-Emile Hjulberg, who went across to Aston Villa for £22 million. We also said goodbye to Joe Rodon, who signed for Brighton for a £10 million fee. And final transfer outing is Brennan Johnson, jumping the channel to Monaco for £15 million. Next up, we added some much needed squad depth with Tino Livramento signing from Newcastle. And we also managed to pick up a bargain in Tom Roth for £8 million, who's in the last year of his contract. Next up, we did say goodbye to Oliver Skip, who joined Man United for £21 million. A quick look now at our loans for the following season. Velez is looking very promising, up to 81. Hopefully he continues to develop. The rest of the guys are in the low 70s. It's going to be a big make or break season for a lot of these guys now. And finally, this is how the team is looking as we head into the new season. It's strong everywhere. We should be doing way better than 5th. Let's jump into the halfway point and see how we're going. And this is where we're at the halfway point of the season. We're sitting in 5th, currently 4 points behind the Champions League spots. It's looking a lot better than last season. Wasn't the prettiest group in the Europa League by any means, but we just about get through in first place on 11 points. Looking at the team now, we've actually been going in a positive direction in the last 2 months. I realized the formation we were playing wasn't working with gegen pressing, so we switched to a 4-3-3 with attacking midfielder and 2 central midfielders. What that means is that we're going to have to move on Polinia, as he really can't play in centre mid, and we're going to have to try and find someone to replace him. And we've got our new man at central midfield. Newcastle were interested in João Paulinho back in the summer, so we decided to structure a deal with them in a swap deal that works with both parties. And Bruno slots into the team very nicely at central midfield. A small update, all things considered, in January. However, the rest of the season is still all to play for. Let's now jump to the end and see if we can finally win some silverware. And here we are at the end of the season. We have finished in 4th, just above Aston Villa in 5th, but we have more importantly brought Champions League football back to Tottenham. Still not an incredible finish and nothing on the second place of the first season, still a lot to build on. In the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out by Liverpool 2-1 in 4th round. We had a solid Europa League campaign, but somehow ended up going out to Club Bruges in the semi-finals. However, in the FA Cup, we did actually make it to the final. Tottenham's best chance of silverware in over 15 years. Let's go over to the game. Even if we win the FA Cup today, this will not be the end of the career mode. I am determined to win Tottenham either the Champions League or the Premier League. But this is the lineup we've gone today. Potentially this is going to be Heung-min Son's last game for the club, as he is in the decline, but I'd love to give the South Korean captain 1 trophy to lift for the club. The rest of the lineup looks like this. Vlahovic and Williams make up the front 3 with Son. Maddison, Gomes and Neves make up the middle 3. Badoggi, Schlotterbeck, Romero and Porro make up the back line, and finally Vicario in goal. And just like that, we are into the game. Can Tottenham deliver their fans their first trophy since the Carling Cup 20 years ago? Let's find out. Spurs now now with a chance through to Vlahovic. Chance here for Dusan to open the scoring. Great save. Nico Williams now picks up the ball to own Bournemouth's half. Plays it into Gameres. Gameres across to Son. Son with a chance here to make it 1-0 in the final. Son. Great save again. Bournemouth keepers keeping them in this. Tottenham now trying to break. Vlahovic finds some space. Gives it inside to Maddison. If Maddison get away here, he can. James Maddison through 1-on-1 to make it 1-0, and Tottenham are going to take the lead into the half. James Maddison scores. In the second half now, no changes at halftime, but Vlahovic has the ball going forward now, a chance to make it 2-0. Vlahovic, he does! It's just like that. Tottenham have doubled their lead and have a firm grasp now on the FA Cup and a chance to break their trophy curse. Spurs now coming forward. Williams trying to find Vlahovic. He has the onside. He is. Oh, another great save from Bournemouth's keeper. Ruben Neves to the corner here for Spurs. Into the box. Vlahovic gets up and another fantastic save. Chance now. Bournemouth out of nowhere have Semenyo through on goal. Can he beat Vicario? Vicario, Semenyo 1-on-1. Scores. Semenyo has given Bournemouth away back into the game. Tottenham 2, Bournemouth 1. Not entirely sure what Vicario was doing there, but we move 2-1. Let's try and see out this game now. Mary is now coming forward. Spurs gives inside of Vlahovic. Vlahovic now has a chance to kill the game, to make it 3, to give Tottenham their first trophy in years. He puts it wide. No. Chance in the last few seconds here for Bournemouth. Back to Semenyo. Semenyo over to Kluivert. Bournemouth have the numbers here. Kluivert, what can he do? Plays it back to 5. 5 for Bournemouth now. Plays it back to Adams. Referee's allowing this to go on. Kluivert with the ball now. Goes for goal. Well blocked. And that should be it. And it is. Tottenham have won the FA Cup and broken their trophy curse. I accidentally skipped the cutscene of us lifting the trophy, but we've done it. We've broken the curse and lifted Tottenham's first trophy since 2006. A quick look at the stats then as we leave this season. Vlahovic, again, the top goal scorer with 26. Son with 25. Nico Williams with 21. James Maddison bagged 13. In terms of assists, Ruben Neves got 11, as did Heung-min Son. Nico Williams managed 10 himself, and Vlahovic got 5 alongside Bentancur. Quick look at Heung-min Son here. He's starting to decline. He's scoring plenty of goals still, so we might not get a replacement just yet. We might have to look at a long-term option next season. Qualify for the Champions League and won a domestic cup. A very solid season for Tottenham here, but next season, one final push for the Champions League. Let's get into it. And here we are then, season 4, one last dance for Heung-min Son at Tottenham. Let's get into it. And this is how the team is looking at the start of season 3. Quality all around the pitch, but I think we need a new left winger and a new right back. Sad to see him go, but Mickey van de Ven is off. When Real Madrid come knocking though, there isn't much you can do. He leaves for 50 million. He had a good stint for the club, but it's also the end now for Timo Werner. He joins Aston Villa for 17 million. Alfie Devine's off as well, joining Brighton for some first team football. Next up, we also say goodbye to Ollie Watkins, who's off to Germany. He was having none of it, being the backup striker here. In terms of backup option though, Elijah Valise comes back from his loan at Crystal Palace, coming back as an 83 rated player. We've absolutely broken the bank for this one. Alejandro Balde signs from Chelsea for 110 million. He wants to prove he can do it in the English game. Kvaratskhelia has signed for Spurs. He's in the last year of his contract, so we've got him on a cutthroat bargain, 110 million. As per usual here, the loans, nothing much to report on just yet. Daniel Levy's had to dig deep in his pockets, but we've assembled this team now. This team, I have faith we're going to win the Champions League. Let's jump to the halfway point of the season. And here we are then at the midway point of the season, and let me tell you, the table has never looked so good. We are sitting in 3rd, but we are just 2 points off top spot with a game in the hand. This definitely could be the season that we wrap it all up. The Champions League, we had a strong campaign, finishing top of our group, and as a reward, we've booked our spot in the round of 16 against PSV. In terms of where the squad's at right now, we don't really have the funds to go out and buy anyone else. Kulusevski could be leaving the club in the transfer window, so we'll see how that develops. For now, I really don't see any realistic place that we can get an upgrade for the team, but we'll see. And as expected, the transfer window is just going to tick down to 0 here, with 0 business being done on our end. Nothing really to report as we get ready to head towards the end of the season. And here we are at the end of the season, and we've done it. We've usurped Manchester City from the top of the table, delivering Spurs their first ever Premier League trophy, their first top flight championship since the 1950s. It was an incredibly close season between us and Manchester City, with us trading top spot throughout the year. In the end though, we were able to hold out with our better consistency. Manchester City got the upper hand against us in the season opener, winning 1-0 in the Community Shield. In the FA Cup, we had a shock exit in the quarterfinals to Huddersfield. Manchester City went on to win the FA Cup. They also went on to win the Carabao Cup as well, which we went out in the quarterfinals to Brentford. However, we did reach the Champions League final final. We've done it. Tottenham Hotspur have booked their place in the final against, who else could it be against? Manchester City, the enemy of this save, the team that has been so dominant in English football in the last 10 years. Is our chance now to take them down. It's not been an easy run to the final. First, we had to get past PSV in the round of 16, followed then by Barcelona in the quarterfinals. We then had to beat favourites Real Madrid in the semi-finals before finally booking our spot in the final. Taking a quick look at the stats before we dive into the finals here. Vlahovic bagged 35 goals in all competitions. Kvaratskhelia got 22. Nico Williams 14. James Maddison 13 and Bruno Guimaraes 12. In terms of assists, Guimaraes got 13. Maddison got 13. Kvaratskhelia got 13. Nico Williams got 10 and Ruben Neves got 6. But it's time now for the Champions League final. And this is how the team lines up for the last game of this career mode. Kvaratskhelia on the left, Vlahovic up front and Williams on the right. Maddison, Guimaraes and Neves make up the middle three. A backline of Udogie, Schlotterbeck, Romero and Baldi and Vicario in goal. Son only finds himself on the bench today, but he will definitely find his way onto the pitch at some point. With all that said and done, it is now time to jump into the Champions League final. Let's get into it. And here we are, the final. Tottenham have fell here before. They failed here against Liverpool in 2019. Will this year be different? Can Postecoglu deliver the most coveted trophy in club football at Tottenham? Let's find out. Doku now trying to find some space. Can he find the right pass into Haaland? Manchester City now coming forward. Haaland, great save from Vicario. City now, Rodri pushing forward for Manchester City. Can he find the right pass? Well defended from Schlotterbeck. Rojo's got a lot of space here on the wing. Can he find the right pass? Cuts back inside. There's a lot of space here. Spurs defense looking light. Phil Foden with a chance. Vicario with a phenomenal save to keep it at 0-0. Chance if Man City falls in the box. Another great save from Vicario. He's keeping them in it now. Chance for a counter-attack here from Spurs. Neves. Neves is a good ball. It's a challenging ball. Can Williams get on the end of it? He can find some space. Can Williams get past the defender? Oh, well defended from Man City. Rodri now from Man City. Picks up the ball. Doku has some space in the box. Goes for goal. And another great save from Vicario. Foden now goes for goal. Another good save from Vicario. Hernandez now from Man City has the ball deep in Tottenham's half. Back to Rodri on the edge of the box. Rodri gives it to Doku. Doku's trying to find space for a shot. Trying to tiptoe around the defense. It's going to fall for Fernandez. Fernandez goes for goal. Another great save from Vicario. And it is half time here at the Champions League final. Tottenham by far the happier team to see the halftime whistle. It has been a rough first half for us here in Portugal. We are really struggling to find a foothold in this game. Two changes at halftime. The sun comes on for Maddison and we bring on Kulusevski for Neves for a bit more of an attacking midfield here. Second half, it's all to play for. Let's get into it. Coming forward now, Kulusevski trying to find the right ball. Gives it into Vlahovic. Vlahovic turns. Vlahovic with a chance. Oh, he's put it wide. Tottenham's best chance of the game and he's struck it wide. It was actually a fantastic save from Edison here in a corner now for Tottenham. Goalazor into the box. Romero gets up over the bar. It's been a cagey second half here. Neither side want to make a mistake. Spurs will be ruining their chance that they missed. Inside of Vlahovic though now with a chance. Going to get a shot on goal. Vlahovic goes for goal. Well blocked from Ake. Man City now pushing forward. Trying to find a goal to put them in the lead. Well defended though from Udogie. Great tackle. Baldi now with the ball on the wing. Can he find the right pass? It's on his left. Gives it to Kulusevski. Oh, space open up for Kulusevski. He goes for goal. It's Tottenham 1. They found maybe a winner in the 83rd minute. Dusan Kulusevski with the goal. Tottenham lead. Kulusevski has given the goal that potentially could deliver the Champions League to Tottenham. Here we are. Spurs 1. Manchester City 0. 7 minutes to play. Chance now. Son's still on the ball. High up the pitch. Kvaratskhelia into Son. Son, very ungreedy. Into Vlahovic to win the Champions League. They've done it. They've done it. Tottenham have scored in the 89th minute and they've done it. It's 2-0. The Champions League is going to England. The Champions League is going to London. The Champions League is going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Fantastic work here from Sung. Very unselfish into Vlahovic and a great finish to wrap the game up. And there it is. There is the final whistle. Tottenham have done it. And Spurs have done it. Everyone questioned his appointment. No one believed in Ange-Ball, but Postecoglu has silenced the naysayers. And Tottenham Hotspur, the perennial bottlers, no more. They have won the greatest competition in club football. They have climbed the top of the mountain, and they are now your Champions League winners. Thank you guys so much for watching. The feedback and support on the first 2 videos on the channel have been crazy. I really hope you enjoyed this rebuild as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But in the meantime, peace.